Why do some people always seem to know exactly what to say? They're calm under pressure, clear in meetings, sharp when questioned. It looks effortless, like their brain just works faster than everyone else's. For a long time, I believed that too. I thought quick thinkers were simply born that way: higher IQ, faster processing speed, natural charisma. But that's not what's really happening. What separates fast thinkers from everyone else isn't intelligence, it's structure. Let me tell you a story. Maya is brilliant, top performer, the kind of person who solves problems before anyone else even sees them. She works hard, delivers results, and knows her material inside out. But there's one problem. In meetings, when she's put on the spot, she rambles. Her boss asks, "How do we improve profitability next quarter?" She starts answering. She talks about marketing initiatives, product updates, customer behavior, operational efficiency, everything she knows. 2 minutes in, people start shifting in their seats. 5 minutes in, someone interrupts her. Then Daniel speaks. Profit equals revenue minus cost, so we either increase revenue or reduce cost. On revenue, we sell more units or increase price. On cost, we reduce fixed cost or variable cost. I suggest we look at pricing first. 30 seconds. Clear, structured, memorable. Daniel gets nods. Maya gets overlooked. The cost wasn't just the promotion she didn't get. It was the silent downgrade in how people perceived her. Less strategic, less executive, less decisive. But here's the truth. Maya didn't have a thinking problem. She had a structure problem. Most people, when pressured, do one thing. They follow. They follow the question. They follow the complexity. They follow every detail that gets thrown at them. And in doing so, they lose control. Fast thinkers don't follow. They steer. Instead of chasing every detail, they guide the conversation back to structure. And that ability, to steer, comes from one skill: framework thinking. A framework is simply a mental structure that organizes information into key drivers. It answers one powerful question: what fundamentally drives this outcome? Take revenue. At its core, revenue equals units times price. That's it. If someone asks how to increase revenue, there are only two levers: sell more units, increase the price, or do both. Suddenly, no matter how complicated the discussion becomes, branding, marketing strategy, product design, you always know where to anchor your thinking: units, price. That's what thinking from first principles looks like. Instead of memorizing endless tactics, you reduce problems to their essential drivers. And when you think in drivers, you think faster. After losing that promotion, Maya decided to change something. She stopped trying to sound smart and started trying to think structured. She studied how consultants approached messy problems. She realized something surprising. They weren't necessarily smarter, they just had frameworks. They walked into chaos and immediately asked, "What are the levers?" So Maya built her own mental library. First, profit. Profit equals revenue minus cost. Revenue equals units times price. Cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost. Now, when someone asked, "How do we improve margins?" she didn't panic. She calmly said, "We either increase revenue or reduce cost. Which direction makes more sense given our constraints?" The energy in the room shifted. She wasn't reacting anymore. She was steering. That's the power of frameworks. Here's what's happening in your brain when you use them. Without structure, your mind scrambles through scattered facts. It's like opening a messy drawer and searching for one specific document. With structure, your brain searches for patterns, and patterns are much faster to retrieve. It's the difference between chaos and folders. There's a famous series of sketches by Pablo Picasso where he draws a bull over and over again. The first version is detailed and realistic. With each iteration, he removes lines, removes detail, removes complexity, until eventually the bull is just a few strokes. And yet, you still see the bull. That's what frameworks do. They strip complexity down to essence. Once you understand the skeleton, you're no longer overwhelmed by the flesh. A few weeks later, Maya faced another challenge. Her presentations weren't landing. People listened, but they didn't act. Instead of randomly rewriting slides, she applied another framework, this one rooted in classical rhetoric: ethos, pathos, logos, credibility, emotion, logic. She reviewed her presentation. Was she establishing authority? Was she connecting emotionally? Was her reasoning airtight? She realized she had plenty of logic, but no emotional stakes. So she opened her next presentation with a story about a struggling customer. The room felt different, engaged, focused. Another small win. What Maya discovered next changed everything. Frameworks are everywhere. They're just not labeled as framework. For example, many people struggle with the question, how do I make money doing what I love? There's a concept that breaks this into 4 drivers: what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. That's structure. Now, when someone says, I hate my job, I want something meaningful but profitable, you don't freeze. You walk through the 4 levers. Again, it's not about genius. It's about structure. 6 months later, Maya faced another high-stakes meeting. The company's growth had slowed. The CEO asked, what's going wrong? Old Maya would have launched into a stream of possibilities. New Maya paused. Growth depends on acquisition and retention, so we need to examine customer inflow and churn. Which one is driving the slowdown? Silence. Then nods. The conversation became focused. She didn't answer everything. She structured everything. And that time, she got the leadership role. Maya didn't suddenly become smarter. She didn't memorize more facts. She organized what she already knew. That's the difference. When you build a library of frameworks, you stop rambling. You stop chasing details. You stop feeling intimidated by complex questions. You gain clarity, authority, direction. You steer instead of follow, and the people who steer conversations are the ones who lead them. If you've ever blanked out in meetings, if you've ever rambled when nervous, if you've ever known the answer but couldn't articulate it, it's not an intelligence gap, it's a framework gap. And once you close that gap, everything changes. So take the 2-minute speaking confidence assessment to see where you stand and what to work on first. Because when you learn to think in frameworks, you don't just think faster before you speak with power.